right. I think we are live. It went black. It went black, but we're here now, I think. Okay, all right, we're live. All right, let's take a look. Let me pull up chat here real quick. Oops, and I got my audio playing. All right. Mr. Kenji, how are you, my good fellow? All right, got a few people in here. Gonna wait a couple minutes. Okay. Oh my God, it's Scott Fletcher, the Scott Fletcher. Let's go. All right, so far, we've got two of my really good friends in here who know pretty much everything having to do with this anyway, so. Just gonna wait another minute or so, see if anyone else wants to pop in. Otherwise, this could have been a Discord call. Okay. All right, so originally this was supposed to be more, how do I say, professional. I had a lot of things hooked up with the piano, the guitar. I had my DAW recording software hooked up. I was going to play along with the songs, but I ran into some technical difficulties last minute, so we're kind of just going to wing it. So this is probably going to be a shorter stream, and just going to kind of answer some questions, do some behind the scenes stuff. I'll try to play through the microphone instead of through my DAW. Yeah, we're just going to wing it. We'll see what happens. So let's see here. Try to give some. So our bassist Reese, multi-instrumentalist, Reese did a Q&A in a live stream about 2 weeks ago. So I don't want to repeat a lot of what he said because it's the same information. But I'll try to give some more deeper dives behind the songs and stuff like that, and kind of our process of going through the songs. So I guess we'll start off with the first track, which is Go Home. This track was, I believe, one of the last ones to be brought for the EP. So originally we started making music. For those of you that don't know, we started off as a cover band. Obviously Coldplay covers. Most of you probably know that. In 2020 during the pandemic. And then from there, we decided to kind of pivot to original music. And I think one of the first songs we started working on was actually the last track for the EP. So we'll get to that one later. But pretty much we had an idea just to start off small, do an EP, couple tracks, 4 or 5 tracks. So Go Home was one that Eric had written years ago. I think he said he can tell you more about it in a future live stream if he wants, but I believe he said it was actually inspired by a Marvel TV show or movie, something to do with that, but it also fit themes of Israel, Palestine, just kind of war in general, which unfortunately is still going on today and will be going on for who knows how long. So that song kind of came from that, and then it's still very relevant today. But he wrote it. He kind of sent us the demo, just bare bones, guitar and vocals, and then we kind of just built it from there. So I don't know if the mic's going to pick this up, but we'll just kind of just play a little bit of it. We'll see if you guys can hear that, if you can let me know. Actually, you should be able to see that, I think, hear that. All right. sing, so this is gonna get boring pretty fast. So I'm just gonna play through a little bit. Yeah, so for the studio version, I had the idea of kind of starting off softer, just with the thumb, and then once Frank comes in with the drums and the song kind of picks up, then I kind of switch to a pick there just to give it more of that full feel. Originally, too, I had recorded electric guitar for the song, but it was kind of detuned. I tuned the guitar beforehand, but guitars can be weird, especially with humidity and stuff like that. So it didn't sound the greatest when it was mixed in. It might still be in the studio version, but it's very low, if so. But I kind of wanted it to be more, punchy, but it didn't work as well. So kind of kept it more acoustic, stuff like that. I did record some cool keyboard parts for it that you can hear throughout. I can't play them because my recording software is not working right now. But so let's kind of go home. That's kind of the behind the song really for that. Again, we'll go into more depth with it later, but that's kind of the overview of it. Moving on to Polaris. This track was brought to us by Reese. He did the guitar. He's always coming up with these just funky tunings. Like, I have different tunings I like to mess with too, but if I recall, this one was really out there. So as soon as he brought this to us, the piano riff, I just went to the keyboard right away and just played that riff. Let me see if I can get the piano working real quick. I think I can, actually. Let me know if you guys can hear the piano. Let's see. If you can hear that, give me a little thumbs up. Thumbs up? Thumbs up, hopefully. I'm not seeing any thumbs up, so I'm not sure if... Piano is super staticky. Great, awesome. We love technical difficulties here. All right, I'm not going to play that, but basically, I went to the piano and just came up with that riff right away, thinking it was like just a kind of a throwaway thing. Like, oh yeah, kind of just messing around with this. Everybody liked it, so we kept it, and that's a very simple part. It's just those 3 notes, and it just shifts, and it just loops throughout the entire song. Same thing with the electric guitar. Just went through and kind of played those 3 notes just to add atmosphere, because it's hard to know. One thing I've really learned through this whole process, and I think it's something that every artist struggles with, is trying to give the song the right things. You don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to underdo it either. I personally feel like with this song, I underdid it, but at the same time, I don't. I more so just kind of giving it atmosphere. I let the rest of the band do kind of shine, so to speak, or just do their own thing, and just provided kind of some backing atmospheric stuff. So Frank, I'm actually working on the swimsuit calendar. I'll be taking some pictures next month. I don't know why everyone always says I'm good looking. I'm not. It's definitely one of the other guys. Have you seen Reese's hair and stuff? Come on. Anyway, so it's kind of behind the scenes of Polaris, at least for my parts. Just kept very minimal, very simple. So moving on to Our World. So this track was actually the last track brought for the EP. I know Reese mentioned that before. I wish we recorded this. I remember sitting in a band call, and right before we were going to hang up, Eric just came on and said, hey guys, I had the song. I'd love to, sing it for you real quick. Literally just sang it, rough demo, just vocals. And I was kind of like, okay, I kind of see where this is going a little bit. And then over the next few months, actually, I don't even think it was a few months. I think it was a few weeks. I messed around with the guitar, and I actually do have kind of an evolution thing I'm working on, showing the start of Our World and how it kind of progressed to the final release. It's pretty cool to hear. So right away I started off with like kind of some quick strumming guitar. Obviously, we're all Coldplay fans, so huge influence, but trying to get away from, just having that main influence. But right away, I thought of like Life is Beautiful, something like that. So I was kind of trying to channel that, like, I just wanted that like punch from the beginning, really, just kind of starting off the song strong. So I messed around with a few different tunings, a few different things, and it just wasn't sounding quite right. And then one day, again, I wish I had recorded this. One day I was standing, kind of walking around my room with my guitar, and I kind of came up with Eric had that kind of melody, the main riff, do 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 do, that part there. So I was kind of playing that, and once we found the key, A sharp, B flat, whatever, I started messing around with the main riff, and then I was trying to come up with some chords. And again, huge Coldplay fan here, so I love open, different tunings and stuff like that, really messing around with the tunings. So if you're a musician in the chat, the tuning for this song is pretty wacky. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. I remember kind of going off of just like power chords, but I was getting down to the beginning of the neck, and I realized I couldn't play the lower chords I wanted, so I had to detune a little bit. And then from there, I kind of just tuned it to, some similar notes in there, and I got this really cool tuning I liked. And as soon as that tuning took off, as soon as I got that tuning right, it took off from there. So the top string is tuned to E flat. ASMR voice, thank you so much. I don't like my voice, but I'm glad a lot of other people do. Hope you're having fun at Scouts, Frank. Well, if it isn't Vincent Holiday, how's it going, buddy? All right, so it's E flat and then A flat. So basically, tune the top few strings flat, and then it's, I believe, D. Yep, D flat. So we tune the top three strings or go down a semitone. I know this is the riveting content you all came here for. Was to hear a guitar be detuned. And I believe the rest of the strings are actually pretty similar. So then we have G, and then we have B flat. So kind of tuning everything flat. And it's going to give us that nice open kind of sound we're looking for. And then we tune E. E actually goes up to F. So don't want to break any strings there, but... So once we have that, so again, I don't even know how I came up with that tuning. It was just trying to find similar notes. But once I had it, I had it. Sorry, this thing is not one to tune. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Sounds great. Bear with me 1 second. How to break a string. I'm so talented that I need a device to tune my guitars. Listen to how to tune guitars is exactly why I'm here. Exactly, Scott. This is exactly why you joined. It's fantastic content. All right, now hopefully you guys can hear this. So we started off with the key of B flat. So again, I like to play chords a little bit differently. Again, very inspired by Coldplay, Chris Martin, obviously. So I was up here on this chord here. That's when everything kind of clicked into place. Was that, Oh, hopefully you can hear that. Can you guys hear that? You can. Okay. So had that chord there. That was kind of that main riff I had. So it came out on the piano first. I just liked that. Again, just starting a song off just with, just right away, just like into it, no intro, just boom. So I had that piano riff, and then from there, just had that guitar. Kind of had that main riff there. Had that, looping that, and then coming up with like the pre-chorus. Again, I'm gonna keep saying it, huge Coldplay fan, so I had written this pre-chorus part and I really liked it, but it was sounding familiar, so it ended up being similar to Swallowed in the Sea, so scrap that completely. But I'm glad we did, because it turned into a much better pre-chorus, I think. Again, with the guitar tuning, it sounds just fantastic, I think. Whoops, if I can play it right. Reese, still working on the swimsuit calendar. Yes, Eddie, I did change your guitar strings. Mom, this is a live stream, but you can watch it back later. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, so I just kind of had those. I know I've gone on too long about this song, but it's just how it came together is just one of my favorite memories. Again, I really wish I recorded it. So I remember standing here in my room, and then once I just had those chords, it just clicked. And it felt good, just because, again, Eric gave us the vocals, but we really didn't have like a set key, we didn't have a set tempo. So as soon as like this clicked, it felt great. And again, I just love those types of chords where it just sounds so, I don't even know how to describe it. It just sounds like off, you know what I mean? Anyway, so that's our world. That's kind of how it came together. We have an acoustic version of that too. That was a fun one to do. And then moving on to South America, the next track. Again, original song from Eric. And I kept the tuning, I believe I kept it the same for the last two tracks. So now I'm going to kind of, fantastic content here. I'm going to do some tuning again. All right, let's take a look. So this one's a little bit more, a little less crazy here. While I'm doing this, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure Our World was probably the track that came together the fastest. And again, it was like we were pretty close to like trying to nail down the EP and nail down the final songs. It like just made the cut, but as soon as we heard it and got everything going with it, we were like, oh yeah, we have to have this in there, and this is going to be like the main song. Hello everybody. My skincare routine. So I can't give that away, because if I did, I'd have to kill you. No, I wash my face and moisturize like anybody else should. Always moisturize, kids. All right, so now we're going to put it back to standard tuning. Yeah, Reese, I'll restart with talking about Go Home Polaris. I'm trying not to repeat things that Reese has already said. Kind of give more of a deeper dive. Again, if you're just tuning in, I had a lot more planned. In fact, Kenji or Eddie was helping me do some test streams last night, and everything was working great. It was sounding great. It looked great. And then this morning, everything just failed. It's all static. So I was going to play some piano, play some electric guitar as well, but it just wasn't working. So we're going to do this instead. While I'm doing this, are there any questions so far? Or anything anyone wants to know that isn't about my skincare routine? I don't know, Reese. We don't have many. I think everyone in here is a good friend, a band member, or my mom. It's very typical of technology. I work in IT, and I love technology. It's great, but sometimes it just is the bane of my existence. All right, we're back to normal. Okay, so for South America and Other Side, the last two tracks, again, I keep saying it, but huge Coldplay inspiration. So I think I was playing one of their songs, and the B string was just detuned down a little bit, and it just gives it a nice open A sound. Best moment when recording the EP? Ooh, that's a good question. So when actually recording was actually a little stressful just because it's one thing playing, but as soon as like you're mic'd up and the mic's on and you know you got to be like, you don't want to be too perfect because we're still human. You want to get that across in the recording, but you still don't want to mess up. So there's a lot of times when playing, the microphone's right there. It's like, I got to make sure I hit this, and then if you play the wrong chord or something, it was a little nerve wracking, but it was fun. I'd say while actually recording, the best moment for me, I'm still gonna go with Our World, with kind of writing that, just because that was such a fun song to write and have it come together. My mom says hi. Make sure you say hi to her, so she'll reply. Appreciate it. Yes, of course. Hello, Reese's mother. Hope you're well. Thank you for tuning in. It's early over there. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, the internet has also ruined that for me as well. All right, so finally. So South America. So I had this tuning, just the B string tuned down to A, just because it gives more of a, again, like kind of open feeling. And again, Eric wrote this. He had all the chords. He just graciously asked me to play the acoustic guitar on the track, so I did. And it's very repetitive. It's just 3 chords that loop over and over. Get that A chord there. Down to E again, you have that open sound. Then goes to D. And then back to A. So it's literally just those 3 chords, A, E, D, A, looping. And we kind of wanted it, again, I think Reese had mentioned, this song has gone through a few different phases throughout its process. At first it was kind of low-key, and then our producer Chris suggested kind of making it more upbeat, a little more dancey, so we did that. And I think the strumming definitely helped with that. During the verses, we have... So that just keeps looping throughout the entire song. Piano kind of doing a similar thing there. That's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple song, but it's a nice little upbeat song. Great parts by everybody else on it, and it just came together pretty quickly, I think, because the bare bones was already there. We just had to kind of go through and add a few different parts to it, different piano and stuff like that. And then for the outro for the track, we decided to do kind of like a talking thing that you hear in the some different tracks by different artists. We kind of wanted just to feel like we're all in the studio together, even though we're thousands of miles apart. So that was fun too. It was kind of awkward recording into the microphone. I was in my basement, just kind of sitting there like talking like people were with me and they weren't. So I did a lot of takes of that just because it was weird to do. It didn't feel that comfortable. It was kind of weird, but that was South America. And then we're going to move on to the last track, Other Side, which has a long history. I wrote this song, same tuning as well. I wrote this song back in 2016 is when I first kind of came up with it, and I just had some basic chords. I had this main thing here. Can't even play it right. I kind of had those chords. I liked it a lot, and then kind of came up with like the chorus part. Can't even play it right. There's one chord right there that I really love a lot. Oh, it's the E. That's right. So we go high E. And again, just those open tuning chords, it has that just sound. I just love it so much. So that's kind of what drives me, at least when writing, is when you find that chord, things kind of click into place. Yes, 2016 was 13 years ago. Oh, yep. All right, so yeah. So I think Reese on his live stream had said this. I wrote this song 13 years ago. It was more like 8, but it does feel like 13 years ago at this point. So this track definitely was longest track and definitely deserved to be the longest track. Oh yeah, thanks, Reese. So I wrote this back in 2016, and I actually have a behind the scenes video we'll put out at some point. I was playing this. I kind of just wanted to record it, so I put my phone up, started recording it, and my dad started whistling in the background. He kind of comes in. I was in the kitchen. He came in. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I mess you up?" And I was like, "Actually, no. This sounds really good." So I kind of stuck with me that melody he was whistling forever. So I didn't do anything with it for years. I kept working on things, melodies and stuff like that, and my goal was never to put out like solo music. So it was just more for fun. So it kind of just stuck with me forever. And then once we started talking about making original music as a band, I brought that song to the rest of the band. I know, Eddie, I really should have. I feel like we should do an acoustic version at some point and do some whistling in there. I think that would be really cool. Yes, I should say that too. So the whistling was kind of that main melody that you hear in the song. Yeah, right there. So my dad was whistling that, and that just stuck with me forever. So I was using that as a vocal melody for the longest time. And then when I brought the song to the band, they all loved it. And then we were trying to find a guitarist. We couldn't find a guitarist. And then I just was like, you know what? I'll just try to do some stuff with this. So I turned that melody into the kind of the main lead riff for the guitar. But yeah, I brought the song to the rest of the band. This was the first song we started working on back in 2020, summer of 2020. So at this point, the song is 8 years old, but it's also like 4 years old because I feel like it got a new rebirth in 2020 when we started working on it. It's been through a few different iterations. We had different, I think Frank at one point had bottles in there. Those were really cool, but we kind of ultimately decided to go a little bit of a different direction just to kind of... It's a lot of stuff you go through in the process while you're, So Reese has like some old demos and stuff, which if people are interested, I think we would love to share some of that stuff. Some of it's probably embarrassing depending on what it is, if we're, singing terribly or whatever, but I'm sure we'd love to share some of that stuff if people are interested, some older demos or some, I think we're working on some things we want to share with people. So that was Other Side. That's the oldest song, from there, and it was the last track, and I was so happy that they all liked it so much and wanted to work on it, and they brought it to life after 8 years. And I'm glad too, this song kind of pushed me to do a carbon version. Well, with AI, anything's possible. But I'm glad this song kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone too, because again, we were trying to find a lead guitarist, and I love electric guitar. I'm just not like a lead person. I just like doing some like rhythm strumming with it. So for this EP, it was like, all right, we've waited so long. We pushed things back a little bit. We've had setback after setback in actually recording the EP because we just had a few different, things go wrong. So it was at a point where I was like, you know what, I got to step up and do this, or Reese and I got to kind of, tag team this a little bit. So I really worked on the guitar part a lot, came up with a part I thought was pretty good. And one of the last additions actually was this riff here, which kind of came out of nowhere, but I love it so much. It's pretty simple. It's just the... So it comes in the last, during that last kind of chorus, or kind of the bridge, the ending bridge, I guess. It comes in and it's... this song really pushed me out of my comfort zone as a guitar player and to try to do some more things, and it kind of inspired me. So I'm glad that, like, I wish we had a lead guitarist, and still would be great, but I'm glad that it kind of pushed us to kind of work on that ourselves. Reese agrees with me. You love rhythm electric guitar, but just not lead. It can be cool. It can be cool trying to play and learn stuff, but trying to create things, it's just it's a little tough. So that was Other Side, again, so kind of wrote that guitar part there. That was one of the last pieces that fell into place. And same thing with kind of Eric's vocals. We tried working on a few different chorus ideas. Nothing was just really clicking. So that's when we decided to make the electric guitar kind of the chorus, kind of like the main focus of that. And then we have that ending part, the ending guitar solo, and we specifically wanted to fade out. So the song originally ended, I originally had this ending for the song and it was just going to stop. It was going to be, whoops, so the song was just going to end there. And then we decided just to keep it going because we really liked how the song, there's some songs you just kind of want to live in for a while and you want it to feel like it goes on forever. So this is one of those songs we just wanted it to fade out very slowly and just feel like it kept going on and on. Yeah, and again, just super grateful that song's finally out in the world. It really is like my baby. I keep saying that a lot to people, but that's, because I have had a few songs throughout my life I've kind of toyed around with and messed around with, but that one really, I liked it a lot, and I'm glad it finally got to see the light of day at some point. Exactly, and again, huge Coldplay fans here, but the hardest part, one of my favorite songs, it fades out, and it just feels like it goes on forever. You want to keep living in that moment. Yeah, and I think Frank's drums on this whole EP, they sound amazing, and especially on this track too. I kind of so I had the stems and I sold his drums, and it just sounds it's so punchy. It just sounds great. But yeah, so that was Other Side, and then we had the acoustic version, obviously, of Our World, which was just kind of slowed down a little bit, and we may or may not have something else coming as well. Not going to spoil too much, but all I'm going to say is stay tuned. We'll be announcing stuff very soon. Nothing too crazy, Keep your things in check. But yeah, we have some cool stuff coming soon. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I don't really have much else to say right now. Anyway, again, this was supposed to be a lot more in depth, but technology. What are you going to do? So if anyone has any specific questions, any other things, I'm probably going to end it in a couple minutes. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun. I'll definitely do another one soon because I want to fix the technology issues. I'd like to do an actual proper playthrough instead of just, talking. I wasn't supposed to be talking this much. I really don't like talking this much. But anyway, yeah, soon TM. It could be next week. It could be next month. Who knows? I'd like it to be in a week or two, but we'll see. What about merch? That's a great question. So as you can see, I'm actually wearing some merch right now. I kind of made this as a test just to see. I think we want to look into that because obviously any sort of merch you guys buy would go directly to supporting us for recording some future things or, doing some other things in the future. Tour would be fantastic. That'd be amazing. Hopefully someday we get to play together. Yeah, so we're kind of looking into doing some merch stuff, so stay tuned for that. We just want to make sure it's, good quality and good pricing and stuff like that. I just made this on my own just as a kind of a test, but I love wearing it. Feels great. You're kind of hot. It's actually pretty cold here, Reese. We're in New England here, buddy, so it's pretty cold. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be it. I see the viewers kind of just popped up, so we'll wait a couple of minutes just to see if anyone has any specific questions about the EP, the songs, the recording process. I'm trying to think of any sort of last minute behind the scenes stuff, but I think it's been a long time because we started this whole idea back in 2020, so it's given a lot of great insight to how artists record, because when you hear a song, it's not always true, but usually when you hear a song by your favorite artist or something like that, that song's been around for a few years, you know what I mean, at that point in time, whether it was a demo or working through different stages, that song has been around. So it's new to you, but it's not really that new to the artist. Liar, it's been warm. Scott, actually, it has been warm. It was warm today and it was warm a few days ago. Global warming. Yeah, we'll definitely get going on some merch stuff, because I would like other people to like to wear some stuff. So we'll see if we can get going on that this month. We'll try to design some cool things. I see Reese is seeing March 8th, Friday, March 8th. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, I would stay tuned for next Friday. Something cool might be happening. Nothing crazy, but I would just stay tuned. I think that's probably gonna do it. I don't want to just sit here and just kind of stare at the camera as much as some of you might like that. Also, I wanted to try out this green screen. I don't know if it's cool or if it's kind of distracting, but I think it's kind of cool. Although it's causing a lot of weird glitches back here. Nothing is happening. Yeah, sorry, nothing's happening. What am I? I'm thinking of something else. Sorry. Nappy song. Yes, go Moms. Thank you so much. I think it's safe to say we wouldn't be here without support from our parents, for sure. So thank you for letting us pursue and giving us the positive reinforcement. Because seriously, without that, it's hard to find inspiration. Chat, catch up here for a minute. Alright, I think that's going to do it. There's no more questions. I don't think I have anything else to say overall about the EP. Just that it was fun. Thank you all for streaming, for checking it out. It's taken a long time to get out and get to you, but we're glad it's out. And yeah, stay tuned for some more stuff. The merch, we will get that going soon. And yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching and for tuning in. Thank you, Reese. Yeah. Again, the guitar was supposed to be through the DAW, but it wasn't working. So, it sounds good. That's actually really good. Can I sing? I don't want to sing. I do want to take vocal lessons at some point. We'll see. But for now, I'm just going to talk. I did work hard tuning it, and you know what, Scott? The funny thing is, it's still out of tune. I see Jeff. Jeff just popped in the chat. How's it going, buddy? Yes, well, so I think most people in the chat know, but I went to the Philippines about 2 months ago at this point almost. And while I was there, Eddie kind of was teaching me how to sing a little bit. Obviously, you can't learn to sing in one night, but I feel like I was trying to unlock some things. So we'll see in the future. I do sing on the EP a little bit, but it's in the background. You don't want to hear me sing lead vocals, not yet anyway. Maybe someday we'll do it. We'll do me on a lead. So I agree with Reese. Reese on his live stream said he doesn't know how to end these things, and I agree. It's very hard to do because you don't know when to go. So I'm probably going to go in just a minute here. It's 11:44 a.m. Eastern, so we'll wait another minute or so. I don't want to keep it too long of a live stream. We'll play a little goodbye tune. I'm playing South America. Perfect. All right, bye everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I will do this again at some point once my technology is working. All right. Bye everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you later. Bye.